I think I understand risk now much better than I did before.
Oh, good.
Sage, I am trying to figure out how we manage supplier risk in TraceGains. Okay. And I have no idea how to do that. So I need your help today. But before we get started, introduce yourself. Why are you here?
Well, my name's Sage Dunphy, and I am one of the senior CSMs on the customer success team. And I'm here to hopefully provide a little bit more clarity and instruction to customers on how they can start configuring, using TraceGains to configure risk assessments for their suppliers and items.
Perfect. All right. So the best place for us to start is understanding risk. And I think that's where I'm probably most cloudy. Right? Okay. Define risk for me. What do we mean when we use the word risk relative to TraceGains?
Well, risk is a broad term. It can span over quite a few categories, actually. The first one that normally comes to mind is food and safety risk. The control over hazards that could potentially be introduced, whether it's physical, chemical, microbiological. Another risk that is important to our customers' business, but not necessarily related to food safety, is sustainability. Okay. So with that being said, what is the company doing, or what are our customers doing to ensure that their suppliers are making progress in how they produce the product in relation to the environment?
Okay. Gotcha.
If we're finding more and more, if that, the latter risk isn't addressed, it could put both the customer and essentially the supplier in jeopardy from getting contracts now and in the future.
Okay, so then it doesn't necessarily matter, or rather not every company could value something like sustainability yet.
Exactly.
Right? So this is it has to be customizable, like you said, right? So you work with your customers. Some companies would value things like sustainability, others may not.
Right.
And so really when it comes to risk, it's determining what your company values and how much does it value.
Exactly. Okay. So what is deemed important to one company, which may make sense and seems very logical, may not be at the bottom of the barrel for a completely different company, given what products they produce, what industry they're really in, and where their focus is.
Okay. So as far as data coming into the system, it all starts with these questionnaires, right? The supplier questionnaire and the item questionnaire.
That is correct.
Yeah. So we've got them pulled up here on the screen. Now, as a customer, and let me make sure I got this right, I can't actually change what's being asked, right?
Exactly. The questions that are on the supplier questionnaire and the item questionnaire were vetted through our customer advisory board, and we have modified them and made them available.
Gotcha. Yeah, the intent being like standardizing, right? So you want to create a standard so that everyone is being asked the same thing.
Exactly.
Okay, and it's the same deal with the item questionnaire.
Yes, so there is some variance on the item questionnaire depending on the product and category, but that's not the purpose of this.
Right. So, but the purpose of this then is you're going to show me how to essentially pick and choose what I think is most risky.
Exactly.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to jump into the product here. And where do I go from here to do that?
So to begin with, you're going to go over to configuration and locate attributes.
Okay.
Go there. And you're going to search for SQ, and this could be under ID or name, SQ _ risk score.
Score. Okay. And it's SQ because we're talking about the
supplier questionnaire.
That supplier questionnaire. Okay. So I'm going to go into SQ risk score and just click the edit wheel, right?
Exactly.
Okay. What next?
Then from here, to see what questions are already in use, or to make any modifications, you're simply just going to click on the Manage Risk Score, which is in the kind of middle bottom right area.
Okay.
Right there. And this will bring you to the area that you can use to select and choose which questions, along with their weight, that you want applied to your risk assessments for your suppliers.
So in this example, these things on the right-hand side are essentially the things that, let's just say, this particular company values the most in terms of risk.
Correct.
Right. And let's say I inherited this thing and my company no longer values, I don't know, one of these things. Let's say it's the looks like there's 2 food safety policies. Can I dump one of them?
Sure.
Okay. Perfect. And that's it. Am I done?
No, now you would need to, because the attributes, the score needs to total 100%.
Okay, so if I save this thing, it's gonna. I see.
Yep.
So because I deleted 14.5 points, like I have to put them back in. I always need a total of 100.
Yes.
Okay, so then how do I add some stuff in here that that I would value?
So the easiest way to see what's available is to click on the select a group dropdown.
Okay.
Locate supplier questionnaire.
Got it.
And then click on the search icon.
Okay.
Or the button, I should say. And then here is where you will see a list of the available questions that you can use to determine your supplier's risk.
Gotcha. Okay, so like let's say I wanted to put in 24-hour emergency contacts.
Yep.
Right. I would go in here, and this trigger value. What am I putting?
So that is where you're going to put the less desirable answer, or the undesirable answer, I should say. So this question is: does your facility, or do you have 24-hour emergency contacts? If the answer is no, well, that is a risk.
Gotcha.
And so you'd want to put no.
It's what I don't want to hear.
Right.
From my suppliers.
Exactly.
So since I took out 14.5 on the last time, I'm just going to put in 14.5
Perfect.
here. And when I save it, it should balance all out to 100. I'm missing 2. So let's see. Let's put in another 2. So for example, if I wanted to increase the weight of my food safety policy, and I'll hit save, now we'll be at 100, and so I'm all balanced.
Looks good.
Okay, cool. So from here, so what? Like, what can I do with this info that I just ran?
So you can then view the information that has come in from your suppliers off the supplier questionnaire in the suppliers tab under the UDD, the supplier risk dashboard.
Gotcha. And this comes out of the box, right? Everyone.
Yeah, everyone comes with a risk UDD. However, you may need to make some modifications depending on what questions you've selected there.
Gotcha. And so right away, this is what it's sorting. It's sorting that information that came off of that supplier questionnaire. So if I wanted to find out my most risky suppliers, what's a real quick way to filter that?
Simply just put high risk under supplier risk level, or even just search by high. Yep.
Okay, and there you go.
Exactly.
And so these are my 2 most risky suppliers.
Yep.
Excellent. Cool. Okay, so let's say we want to do it for items. Is the process different?
Nope. Exactly the same.
Okay.
So you can navigate over to configuration, go to attributes.
Yep.
And you are going to search for IR underscore.
IR. That's because it's item risk. Okay.
Underscore risk. And then space score all.
Score all?
Yes.
Oh, gotcha. There it is. And then filter that. And I'm picking that first one.
Exactly.
Okay. Same process with this manage risk score button?
Yep.
Okay. Gotcha. And it pulls up the exact same thing, right? Okay. So then it looks like I have 25 points remaining over here.
So then you could just simply scroll down to the item questionnaire all.
Okay. And it looks like there's a lot more options down here, right? So
those will allow you to pull in questions that are specific to, for example, dairy or egg. The item questionnaire has some category-specific questions on it that, if when applicable, you could use those on your risk assessment.
All right. For now, let's just use the general one then, right?
Yep.
And so I'll pull these in. Okay. And then I can use really any of these.
Exactly.
So if I wanted to use magnets used, for example, oops, it's already in there. The glass implant, also already used. X-ray. I want to find out if they are using X-ray.
Perfect.
And these are the values I don't want, right?
Right.
So I do not want X-rays being used. And then I'm going to add, for the sake of the example, I'll add a really high weight value of 25.
Perfect.
Just to balance it all out. And there we go. And we're balanced out at 100. Okay. So then same thing. I would jump back to my item supply tab to find out my...
Exactly. And navigate to your risk dashboard.
Okay. There we go. Item risk. Okay, and then let's say I wanted my medium levels.
Yep.
Right. I just type in medium.
Yep. And it'll bring up
all my medium folks. Okay. Perfect. That's super helpful. I think I understand risk now. much better than I did before.
Oh, good.
and I understand that the questionnaires aren't something I can adjust, but rather it's like I can assign values to the answers coming in on those questionnaires.
Exactly.
And then I can take those values and then sort the data so I know real quick and easy how to find my riskiest suppliers or my medium risk items, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
All right, perfect. So moving forward, there's more that I could do with risk information, right?
There is. You can set up workflows to have notifications sent out. So
cool. And so it's really about making that data actionable, not just showing up on the screen.
Exactly.
Okay. And I think we're going to move there next, right?
Sounds good.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks, Sage.
Thanks.